Alrighty. Here we are. Hello, all my fellow turners and pen enthusiasts, spindle turners, all of you wonderful people out there. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me. Today we're going to be working on some custom pens. Here, some of these are a variety of different shapes. Some of them are a little unusual compared to what I usually do, but that's always fun to do a little bit of a different challenge. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, yeah, I don't think there's really much else to talk about, unless, oh yeah, here we go, shameless plug right quick. Linktree, if you wanted to do a personal Zoom, we could turn together. We can go over the list of everything that's used or whatever it is for different projects that you've seen me do in the past, or maybe projects that you want to try and figure out how to do. I might be at service. Yeah, I guess with that out of the way, there we go. We shall move forward. Hello, Laura. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Good to see you doing well and everything. Did you have a good spring break? I hope that you did. Got to spend some time with the family and friends, or we're even just kicking it back, relaxing and having a good time. Whatever it was that you did. Hope it was good. Let's see. Yeah, I guess without further ado, let's rock and roll. Get this cleaned out right quick. It's a little toasty in the garage today, so sorry if my shirt sweats, or my shirt shows some sweat. Just is what it is, man. All right. Hop over here. Can't get to it. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and knock out the ones that are more of the standard shapes that I do. And then I'll probably... Oh, sorry about that. Come on over here. I hadn't got that one that tracks me all around yet. That camera. That's all right. Saving money to go to, hopefully, maybe go to Tucson. Maybe move there. Out west needs more artists, I guess. Let me go grab a drill bit right quick. Gonna click that. Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. It looks like only this one needs to be drilled, but there might be another one tucked away somewhere in there. But I did most of them already, so that's good. Drilled most of them, that is. Have you seen the Twilight colorway, Laura? It's looking really nice. Looking real nice. Get Abby to show you. In a little bit, possibly. I don't know. She's been kind of feeling a little under the weather. I think she got the flu. But I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell what exactly it was. Or is. I'm going to swap tool rests. When I went to Tucson, there were a couple wood shops that I went to as well, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed that. I also went to a Tandy Leather there, which was also pretty cool. Tandy Leather's pretty. I mean, if you like leather, if you don't like that kind of thing, then I wouldn't suggest going there because there's a lot of hides. But met somebody that was pretty cool there and chatted for a while, and they told me about like a clicker press and ways that you can kind of cut shapes from the dies that you can get made, and you can actually go through them and get the dies made too. So if you had a custom design that you wanted to get done and you wanted to be able to do that as your own thing, then you would be able to accomplish that. Let's see, I did a little tidying up. I switched over the garage from a heat setup to a cooling setup because I don't think it's going to be hot for a little while. Or I mean cold for a little while. I won't need it to be hot for a while. Man. But anywho, all right, turn it on, Morty here, and get into it. Okay, 16 on this skinny mini here. Let's do it up. I like those flakes in there. They're small enough to where they don't really interfere with like being turned. See, pretty small. Maybe like a mil. Okay, one down. And lost the rest of it. Just kidding. Got some interesting ones. This go. Two of these? Same ones, huh? Okay. Having a camera right there, it makes it hard to focus. Both eyes at the same time. Right there. The ones that need it, they'll get measured. So I took this beating tool to the grinder, so I didn't have to adjust the shape as much as I was doing before. I was having to clean it up a little bit because it was the shoulder of the wings, I guess, the blade, the cutting edge. Wasn't exactly how I wanted it to be. Good things of having a bench grinder, I guess. Customize some tools. And speaking of which, one of the other tools, the tool that I was talking about before in the video, is called what is it? Squeegee gouge. Yeah, and it's like combining all three, skew, chisel, and gouge at the same time. And so I was thinking that would be very similar to the way that you would use a carbide instead of high-speed steel, because you know that there's a lot of people that are really like, oh man, you gotta use that steel because it just cuts and it doesn't scrape. Well, how about that?
Now, if you didn't see like the actual carbide and the screw right there, I'd say it's a very similar profile. Now this one, this edge is a little steeper, leading to the cutting edge, but you could grind that and make it just like that if you wanted to. And then also this one's round on the bottom. So this is from Crown Tools. There's another one. It's called a Spindle Master, and I didn't get that one. They didn't have it at Woodcraft when I went, but it's pretty cool because it has a flat top. So how this has a flat top, that has a flat top, but it has a round bottom. So it makes it nicer to do what I'm doing right now as far as tilting the tool back and forth. Maybe more than we care to know, but went for a good hike this morning with Luna, my wine. And I don't know, seeing something kind of a tree grow into something like that, I don't know, it just, if you think about it and kind of translate it to your own life, it's like, yeah, there's different things that'll happen, but we'll just keep moving forward. So, for example, that metal had the, or that tree had a piece of metal going through it, and it's like, no, I don't think that necessarily it's something that people should go out and do, but if you come across something like that, I think it's pretty cool to take a look at. The other thing I'll say about things like that is taking a look at that particular thing. I don't know if you've ever seen the square watermelons or the square apples or anything like that. I think they're from Japan. But it's like you can start connecting different dots. For example, with the square watermelon, the way that they do that is they have like a box that they put a watermelon that'll fit in there, and then it'll continue growing, and then it will just grow to fit the container basically that it's in. And it's just neat that life finds a way. I don't know. It got me thinking all philosophically. Let's get this one. trust but verify. Whoops. I can see that there's a little bit of the outside right there. So we got to dig a little deeper into this one. It's kind of interesting how this one turned out because it wasn't from a square. And if you've seen square blanks and then you saw this, you'd know what I was talking about. Let's see. So next we got a different shape. I think people really like the beads. People really like the beads of these. Now, this one's pretty darn cool because it's got some what's it? Fairy hair. It's got some fairy hair in it. This was actually not this one, but we tested it before to make sure that it would actually work. And so this is kind of the result of it working, which is pretty cool. Fairy hair is a pretty simple inclusion, and you can see that we didn't do too much because if you did, you'd run into some problems as far as like the resin not really sticking to itself in enough areas for it to remain solid. Yeah. But as you can see, that little bit of grinding that I did on that other one, it makes it so I can actually get closer to the other ring. And so that's why I did that. On this one, you can see that it's not that big of a deal because the wings are like almost right beside. The wing right there and the wing right there is pretty straightforward, I would say, as far as it goes straight, and then this one was quite a bit wider. It was the width of this, and then I basically just made it tapered. That way I can get closer. And sometimes there's a great tool out there for whatever it is that you're going to do, but sometimes you're trying to do a little something else, or for a specific use case, sometimes you need to adjust the tool. Pretty nice. Also, it sharpened it back up. I sharpened it back up. Makes it nicer. Sometimes you'll see ribbons instead of dust. You love jewels? I love you too. I do. You're a good dude. You're a good dude, Kevin. Got no shame. No shame. Love you, man. But yeah, I like all kinds of tools. converted the workshop so it is not just heat capable, got the AC unit back up and running. It's what, 85 or something today. It's quite toasty. But how was your break, man? Shoot, we hadn't talked since then. Oh my goodness. See if Abby will have some time to come over and we'll talk about that. must be great. It is. It is. So you kind of get double whammy because it's not enough to chill the garage. It is enough to drop the temperature in here. Probably, I say at best maybe 10 degrees. I can test that. I just don't remember what the results was when I did it last. But then on the other hand, then you have a fan blowing from behind you, and it's more or less where guys at least perspire. It's typically on the posterior, and yeah, then you kind of have a swamp cooler action going on. Not to be too graphic, I had to be choosy with the words. But yeah, I bet it's toasty over there. I keep checking my mailbox to see if he sent anything. But it's just gonna return one of those blanks. Let's see, on TikTok, dude, I saw one of your other pins. That was good. Well, not one, but was it 3? Those are good. See, this is what I was talking about. It's nice that it just cuts and it doesn't like chip out. It doesn't do anything. So it's a pretty good inclusion you could use. Yeah, I do have a couple complicated ones. So we're gonna hold off on those. I guess we'll do a sample one. Or not a sample, but a trial. Not yet. In a little bit. So someone took me up on the kind of designing a pen of their own, which is pretty cool. And they were pretty thorough. This is pretty cool. Getting your wood finish now? Sweet. What species are you working on? I hear that. I hear you. It's hard. Dang. Well, you're a good dude for helping him out. You're a good person. There's a lot of people that won't do that. Right there. There we go. Good go. So I thought I was almost done with turning dot dots for the week. Then I wasn't. And then I went, I want to continue working on my other pencils. We're thinking about trying those out at a, it's out in Orlando when we go there. It'll be interesting to see how those do. I don't know. When I go to these type of pen shows, fountain pen shows, you don't exclusively see fountain pens necessarily, but you do see, like some Pilot, sometimes even a Pilot rep for big name brands send a representative. So that's kind of cool. But it's usually fountain pens. And some people have like classic pencils. One of the interesting things that I was thinking about too is breaking down like the design of existing pens and then maybe putting a little bit of flair on it that wasn't there before. So if people like a specific type of pen, then you could kind of give it some accent. Or a lot of the pens are, aside from like Lamy, some of them are just so now they're not. Let me preface it with that. They're very nice looking and they write well and all that jazz, but I was thinking you could take one that's I don't know, kind of flat, not colorful, and then customize it. So I was kind of thinking like, well, they did it on Fast and the Furious. They took like the Toyota Supra, they took the Honda and all those other cars. They took those, they took the base, and then they enhanced it, right? So that's kind of where I was watching Fast and Furious. But then, in addition to doing that, it would also lend itself towards being able to repair other people's pens that, high dollar pens. You definitely don't just want to start with somebody's $1,000 pen and try to replicate a piece. It's interesting. Interesting to consider. And then, not only that, but you can take something that's similar to that and then apply it to other concepts too, I kind of gave the car example already, and that's kind of what triggered it in the first place. And then, like somebody could literally spend their entire time doing that. And if you don't believe me, you should check out nib grinders, nibmeisters, because they are busy they're busy all the time because people want their nib to be customized to them, and they want to do different types of shapes for ergonomics, or they want what's juicier, which means that there's more ink flow. Some people want less. Let's see, yeah, roundings. So it's one of those things that's pretty darn cool. If you were someone that was trying to figure out where to go or what to do, like, I make bespoke pins and I make them really well. Okay, cool. Well, how about you try out retrofitting some other things, because that could make it so you could use like the names. For example, the title, I guess, be like, I took $1,000 pin and then cut it. So you're not. You did. You know what I mean? Or you could even be more dramatic and say you broke it, because in a way that's what you're doing. You were making it not from its original. Anywho. Just some ideas. Oh, you. I have a bug screen out there. It's been through the ringer. We've had our rain fly thing in the front of our garage for 3 years now, I think. 3 or 4 years. I mean, you say that, but I think it's the people that have the most confidence about some things that are most likely to rely on their skills and be a little more complacent. And I think that they might be the ones that are more likely to ruin it. But I don't know. It could happen either way. Whether you're a grand master pen maker, which isn't actually a thing, but we'll just call it that. But yeah, they make mistakes. There's I think it's a Japanese term, where if they broke a piece of pottery, then they would like put it back together and have it like golden and stuff. I don't remember what the word is though. But there is like repairing with decorative something. What's that darn word? Anybody know? Man, that one's cool. Some tight squirrels in there. And thinking about it, I guess. There's another person that I've watched. He's a leather worker. I've seen him like 1 or 2 times. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he takes Louis Vuitton bags or Louis Vuitton secondhand bags, like picks them up from thrift shops and stuff like that, and he cuts away all the leather so it's free, and then he maps out some other stuff for him to use the leather from Louis Vuitton. Kind of cool. They don't like that. But it's pretty interesting because there's a market for it. People like Louis Vuitton. They're like, "Oh, what's that?" But you know, the other side of it is that's not really my type of thing. I don't know if I like that. So it's hard. It's hard to think about that, because if it is all the Louis Vuitton leather stuff, and you're creating a new design, people are going to think that that's Louis Vuitton, and it's partially true, right? Because it is Louis Vuitton leather, but it's not, made by a Louis Vuitton maker. Oh, I did that. Thank you. Big plans for Mother's Day? Still haven't quite figured out what it's going to be or what I'm going to do entirely. Not yet. Okay. I was kind of thinking about it. If we just left for the weekend, I took the kids somewhere or something. Then let Abby chill for the weekend. I mean, you see those memes like on the socials, and they're like, you know what I want for Mother's Day? A weekend to myself. So, I mean, I'll ask like that. Be funny. We just packed up and left. Bye bye. Happy Mother's Day. Bye. I think that would go over very well. Well, free coordination, you know. Let's see. We went to the stationery store the other day. And we have a trial that we've kind of worked out with the owner. It will actually be in a physical store, at least a few of our things. Something like that. And then got another place that will probably be as well. It's a place in Florida. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, really ever since we got home from Tucson, I've been trying to be even more productive than I was before. I don't think it's going to be like 100% sustainable, but we ride it out for a little bit. Then I'll stream some of it while I go. Just barbecue? That's good. We're doing that tonight. I'm gonna have to start the grill here. A little bit. What's your favorite thing to barbecue? Something that we discovered. I don't know if you've ever heard of a YouTuber. I don't remember his name, but his channel's Guga Foods. And he's done like every possible thing you could think of to like steak and chicken and stuff like that. Anyway, he's from, I'm pretty sure he's got roots in Brazil, or his family is from Brazil or something like that. And he talked about a picanha. And it's a cut of meat. It's pretty darn good. Like, my goodness. And you probably just have to look it up. But yeah, it's also pretty inexpensive for the types of meats that you get. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend checking out those if you haven't before. And then also you gotta cut it the correct way, because it's like you gotta cut the steaks out and then you have to cut it the other way. So it's kind of served as not quite a finger food, but you can take it and eat it like that. And then you're basically grabbing a hold of the fat because there's like a big old fat cap on it. Chicken, boneless, skinless chicken, man, that's, can't go wrong with that. You do a dry seasoning, or you do let's see, a marinade, or I guess just sauce them, barbecue, like a wet barbecue sauce, and you just rub it while it's cooking and kind of toasts it on there, rolls it on there. Color. Not color. We got 20 pop. It just depends right on. I'm pretty fortunate. Abby does that type of prep. Because if it was me doing that, we would just have like steak or chicken every day. I'm a simple eater. She's not, she likes to try all kinds of stuff. I'm not like that. From a curiosity standpoint, I don't really care if people come in and out. Just kind of wonder, what is it that makes you want to stay on a particular channel? From the viewer, from the viewer. I'm going to ask myself the same thing. Is a very good gauge, I would say. I don't know, just wondering. Yeah, me too. It's nice. It is nice when people engage. But I just kind of wonder, you clicked on it on the live, and then you leave the live without saying anything. And I am just as guilty of it. I'm just seeing if other people have different reasons that they do it. I'll just hop in and check it out, determine it's not my cup of tea, and leave. Yeah, I don't know. A decent amount of people that cycle through this, and I'm grateful for that. But I just kind of wonder why they cycle. Because looking at, okay, here's the other reason. Like, I look at the analytics and I look at the stats and stuff like that. And I can see those types of things, the data sets and stuff like that. And I guess that's something that's a little easier to see from videos than it is from lives. But just kind of curious. I don't mean to make anybody uncomfortable by asking. But you might as well ask the people that hop in. You know what I mean? But it is really just repetitions on spindle turning. And different topics. See, it dropped down to only 3 people here, which I just say because it's less number than 10, which where it was. Like yesterday, I went all the way up to 61 viewers, which was pretty fun. Although I gotta say, they weren't super chatty either. I don't know, man. Just keep doing you. What else can you do? And then the other weird thing about it is that, who were the people that were in the chat heard you at that that time, be even able to answer that question. But then they're not there. It's a little weird. They even inquired. There's also that weird conundrum of, you know, being streaming for a certain amount of time, then wondering, like, is it me? Or is it my bait?
Does it mean I'm not a clickbaiter? That feels. Well, I guess to be a successful YouTuber, you gotta do that. But YouTube is just for funsies, really.
Funsies.
That's true, right? Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Somebody just texted, said, are you selling? Gotta ask them. My body? Question mark? That's not something, I don't know if y'all have noticed, increase in people contacting their phone number that they're trying to get your property or whatever it is. But, or send you like job. Hey, are you this, this, and this in the U.S. able to work over 25, all that stuff? You're like, yeah. Like, can I send you a list of job openings? I said, oh man, I'm really lazy. So if it's more than me just giving my thoughts or opinions on whatever it is, I'm not gonna be able to do that. But then you also throw out that you're like, what's the pay? What's the job and what's the pay? Then they'll respond. And I'll add some other things too. So with the pay, you're like, oh, you can make between 50 and 1,000. Like 50 to 1,000, that's a heck of a range. What are we doing? There's a good chance I'm never ever going to do any of this. I'm gonna waste my time. I'm at least gonna enjoy it, right? But yeah, I said 50 to 1,000 per hour. I didn't get a response back. Because that's potentially a good gig, you know? $1,000 an hour? Whew. a good job, isn't it? And then other people, oh, this is actually my favorite one. When people are trying to buy a house that I guess my phone number is attached to, it's not even my house. They're like, oh, I see you own this property. It's like, okay. Or they'll call you and, I mean, yeah, this is what it would be. They'll call you and say, hey, are you interested in selling this property? I'll be like, no. And then they'll ask, are there any other properties you'd be willing to sell? Then you ask them if they're interested in selling any of their properties, because I'd say darn near 100% of the time, they are just cold callers. I went through a wholesale period in life here, and it just felt wrong. I didn't like the way it made me feel, so I never pursued it. Now, I get that some people are actually doing favors, but, you know, no good, there's a dark side to all good things, isn't there? Whether you know them or not. Because, I mean, somebody that's going into, like, bankruptcy or foreclosure or something like that, it's, you know, it's... They're down on their luck, you know. So they're just trying to find any sort of saving grace in their way out. But then the problem is, where I feel bad is the people capitalizing on that, similar to recent things in Hawaii. Like, all those homes that caught fire, and so people are trying to buy the land while the locals are like, you know, they don't have a home. They're trying to figure out all these things, and you know, it just feels bad. I don't like that. But then on the other hand, so here's the other part about it, that it's like, well, if I don't, somebody else will. One, and two, in a way, you are kind of helping those people out of the situation that they're in. But I just don't like this bad, because the house would just end up going back to the bank if it was like a... None of this is legal advice, by the way. I don't know if I even need to say that, but I'm just a attorney, man. And if you're a wholesaler, by all means, continue doing it. Just hope that you are ethical about how you go about it. Because people will be offered, like, laughable amounts of money. Like this $500,000 house, they'll ask, hey, you'd be willing to take 125 grand for that? Really? Anyway, I guess that was a little real estate rant there. Wholesale. I don't even know how I got there. How did I get to the wholesale thing? I don't know. I really like the colors. When I look at this particular color, I think, oh, that's smooth. And then I feel it and I'm like, oh, it is smooth. But yeah, it looks smooth too. knock that corner off, round that a little bit more, and then take that. No, leave that alone. Knock that corner. I started a stream yesterday, and I had to cut it short. I had to go help some family. But man, I was only like 20 minutes into my stream, and I get a call from a family member, and of course you're going to drop whatever you're doing and go do that. But it's not necessarily because you want to, it's just what you got to do, you know? We hope they would do the same for you. Shoot. Is it summer break in like a month? Those of you with kids. We're going on a summer vacay. Don't do that. Don't do that either. All right, well, I'm done with that. I don't want to continue this. I mean, I do have to get them done. Just not right now. Right now. Been turning for a while already. Well, at least these. Time to change gears. Hey, you want to talk about our Tucson trip? All right, she's moving. She's moving. Oh man, she let her hair down? Getting serious. There you go. Okay. All righty, look at you. That's a good spot right there, huh?
Oh, hey, Kevin.
Here you go.
What else you got going on here?
Laura was here. She's been pretty quiet. I don't know if she's still here.
It's okay. I know people are doing stuff a lot of the time when they're watching lives.
Yeah. I was asking about, what do you think? People pop in and then they leave, and I was wondering why. Like, what is it that they wanted to see that would keep them here? You know what I mean?
Well,
It's like, what'd you expect to see?
I don't know. They're probably interested because it's like workshop, and then like, I don't really want to watch people turn because, to be honest, it's me. It's me who accidentally clicks on things and then clicks away. I have a live stream anxiety. Hey, Laura. I'm a lurker. That's kind of what I'm saying. But
Hey, that's all right.
it does help from like our perspective of when people obviously interact and ask questions or whatever, just because John's way better than I am, but I am bad at just like talking and talking and talking. I will very quickly, my brain will just be like, I don't know what else to say. His goes on and on and on. It's a joke between us. At least that part is. I'm glad you like hanging out with us. Yeah, so our trip last week was amazing. We had such a good time. That's all I've said. I haven't said anything else yet. What do you do? Okay. Let me start over.
Yeah, you can say this trip was amazing again.
Okay.
Are we centered? Are you centered?
No, you just made me uncentered. Stop. Back a little bit. Perfect. Stay.
Okay.
John was moving the camera. Why?
There's a little bit of this caught in the frame.
Oh,
No, it's good.
barely.
Go ahead.
Anyways, we went to Tucson, Arizona last week for our girls' spring break. I planned this over a year ago. I went and visited my grandparents, not this last December, but the year before that with my mom, because my grandparents have lived in Tucson for about 30 years now, which means that pretty much my whole life I have had the opportunity to get to visit them, and it was always one of my favorite places to visit. And then at one point, John had some training there in Tucson when we were dating, as he was training in the military, and I was still in high school. And I got to come visit him and stay with my grandparents and see him during my spring break. So we have a long storied history with Tucson, Arizona. It was the first place that we lived together. That was where he was stationed after he finished training. Our older daughter was born there. So I was so excited about planning this trip to bring the kids out there, and John, because it's been quite a while since he had been there, and the kids don't remember it all because they were pretty young when we moved. And Tucson is like, compared to where we are in North Carolina, it's like a whole other world. Hi. Oh, you saw some of the pictures? Yay. Yeah, I tried to do better about posting some of those. I am still getting used to having any sort of personal kind of Instagram. I like to joke with John that what I was doing before on social media and Instagram gave me social media PTSD, and I just have like a block of like sharing, I don't know, a lot of personal stuff, but I know that that's important and I want to get better at sharing. So I tried a little bit more to do that. Do we have family in North Carolina? Yes, all the rest of our family's here in the Charlotte area. So John was born here in Charlotte. Both of his parents and two of his sisters live here in Charlotte. And then I was born in Asheville, but I grew up in Charlotte, moved here when I was about 4. So I spent pretty much all that I can remember of my childhood here in Charlotte. And both of my parents live here, and one set of my grandparents and his grandmother. Anyway, so yes, short answer. Yes, all of the rest of our family is here in Charlotte, which is why, and this is where we met, was here in Charlotte before he went into the military. So when he got out, we decided that we were going to move home because we didn't really have a reason to move anywhere else, and we had young kids at the time. The girls were 3 and 5, so we wanted to come back and be close to our parents and everything. Funny enough, we didn't have a very hard time leaving when we did. Then again, I was 19 and he had already been in the military for several years, so he was like out of here. And I was just that kind of person. Like my parents, when I was like, I'm quitting college and I'm moving across the country to go live with my boyfriend, they're like, we believe you. and I did it, you know. So John is typing from another room on our chat. John says hi. I don't know. I said hi. Hi to everybody. Hi. We're talking about our spring break last week. And apparently our entire past. But yeah. So we lived there in Tucson for 4 years and loved it. And then we moved to Albuquerque for 4 years with the military, and I hated it. Nothing against New Mexico in general, but Albuquerque specifically, I don't know. It would have to be really important to make me visit Albuquerque again, which is why when we left there, we moved home, because I was like, I need safety, security, comfort, my family kind of thing. And it's been interesting being back. We have been lucky to be with, our family a whole lot. But this trip, my grandparents are all, obviously getting older, and I wanted to go and visit and to be able to show the girls how beautiful the desert is and how it's like a completely different world from here on the East Coast, where it is humid and green and, it's a whole different world. There it's completely dry. I want to say I looked at the humidity at one point and it was like 4. Here, it's like 60% humidity a lot of the time. We had perfect weather the entire trip there because, obviously it's spring, so it's before it gets really hot. Because we did live there during the summers is where it gets like 115 in Tucson. But it is a whole different thing having that dry heat. But as soon as we got there, and I kind of figured that it would be like this because it's been a while for John, but it's like, I don't know, when you get somewhere that you love and you just are like, this is my place, you know what I mean? Like, we were so glad to be back. The kids, I think, loved it nearly as much as we did. And we had an absolutely fantastic time. We did all of my favorite things. We got to drive around and see all the places that we used to live and all of that. And, we have decided that that's definitely where we want to move next when we get to that point. So that's kind of like we're starting to plan and make our first initial moves into figuring out when the best time to do that is, because obviously here we run both of our businesses from our home. So that's not like that big of a deal for us to be able to move that. And all of our families here, and that's going to be my hardest part personally, but we're lucky that they love visiting Tucson. Both my family and some of his family got to visit us when we lived there, and they love it, at least visiting. So it's a bit of a different thing, but yeah, that's kind of our plan. We're thinking it's going to be probably about a year from now because our kids are one's in elementary and one's in middle, and if we wait a year then they'll both be in middle school. But also we have a bunch of pin shows coming up this year and travel and stuff that would be very difficult for us to switch everything to have to not be able to drive to it, if that makes sense. So it's a lot. John had his whole notebook out and had everybody write like pros and cons lists about Tucson or moving, and there were a lot more pros and cons, and all of the cons were like manageable is the best way to put it. So yeah, we're very excited. Yes, it's going to be hard leaving. My mom, I don't know if she was just like, I need to process. So I think all of our family is going to be like that a little bit, and that's also kind of the beauty of being like, okay, we're not leaving right now. We got stuff to do, but just give like a heads up of like, hey, everybody appreciate any trips or visits or things that we have. But it is interesting in the fact that living here, we do see all of our family more, but not a ton more than we did when we lived across the country, because I came back home to visit quite a bit, and John did some, and then like people would come visit us. And there are, in some ways, I feel like that's almost more meaningful kind of one-on-one time. But yeah, it's still gonna be a challenge for family especially. But we're excited about it. So we're over here like looking on Zillow and saving all these houses and like making all these big plans, and yeah, I don't know. And then we got home, and it's been a week for me. I've had a very rough start to coming home. For one, we woke up on Saturday morning in Tucson to get ready for our flights to come home, which I booked like forever ago, like more than a year ago. And I got like 12 different emails from American Airlines that were like, your flight's delayed, your flight's delayed, your flight's delayed. And the next one was, we've canceled and changed all of your connections because you're going to miss them. So I called because what they had done is like, we were supposed to get home at like 7:30 p.m. Charlotte time. We were leaving about 10:30 in the morning Tucson time. There is a 3-hour time difference. Cool. Sounds great. They changed it so that we were not getting home until 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. And that was spending like 7 or 8 hours in Phoenix in the airport, which I was like, no, that's not okay. I called the first person, they put me on hold, and then someone else answered, and I had to start all over again. I was like, I guess the first person was just like, nah, I don't want to deal with her. And I was being really nice because other than that, like, I was just like upset. I'm like freaking out because we were literally like packing our stuff to drive to the airport. So then I talked to someone else who was like, no, I can't find you anything, can't help you, can't do anything. And then I called back again to talk to somebody else who did help us. So moral of the story, keep bothering them until they help you because that is their job. But yeah, apparently there's like a automatic system that if you're missing that connection, that they will just automatically rebook you on something else. And the crazy and most annoying part about all of it is, yes, our first flight was like delayed a tiny bit, but also we got there in plenty of time to make that original flight, which we went up to the gate and they're like, no, we gave away your tickets, gave away your seats. So what we ended up having to do was do Tucson to Phoenix, Phoenix to Houston, Houston to Charlotte, and we got home at like 10:30 or something. So we made it, but it was a lot of planes. The kids loved it, and it ended up being fine. But I also think someone on one of the various flights gave me the flu. So I got home, I felt great on Monday or Sunday, and then Monday all of a sudden it was like, nope, you're gonna have to go lay in bed for 3 days. So I am still working through all of that. But it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna survive. Yeah, I know, isn't that ridiculous that they, like these people that all work for the same company and can see the same stuff, it's just that the first two just didn't want to deal with it. And that is so frustrating customer service wise. Like, cause obviously for our businesses, it's me, I'm customer service. If you're emailing, messaging, whatever us, you're getting me and I'm talking to you and I'm helping or doing everything I can in my power. So the other people were just like, I don't feel like it, which is pretty messed up. And also there was like no, sometimes they're like, stay after the call and give your feedback. None of that. They didn't have any of that. I guess they don't want feedback. If they're messing people's flights up, they don't want to hear it. Like, they just don't want to deal with it. We didn't get any sort of vouchers or anything, even though, because obviously, like when I booked our flights, I paid extra to have all of our seats together because we have kids. And that last flight, we were not able to sit together, at least not all of us. The kids did fine. They were like a couple rows back from us, but it was a thing. It was, and on top of that, guess what? 3 out of our 4 bags did not make it home either. So like, of course, it was John's bag that did make it on the flight. And our other 3 bags, they were like, I don't know where they are. Luckily, they found them and did deliver them the next day, but. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Because the kids had window seats, because I booked them window seats on the planes, they were sitting there and they're watching as they're unloading the bags. And because I bought bright blue bags and I put all these brightly colored tags on all of it so that we could easily, see them, they were like, oh, there's our bag and there's, the next bag. And they were like, why did they put Dad's bag on a different cart? I was like, I don't know. Hopefully they're all going to the same place. Guess what? They were not going to the same place. I don't even know where our bags went before they ended up back. But luckily that whole, they send you the email, you fill out the description, and then they deliver it. So they did deliver them. Nothing was missing. However, I'm going to be buying air tags to put in our bags so that, because that was one of the things that like they asked for. They're like, if you have any sort of tracking on your end, feel free to leave it so that can help us find it. So next time I will have tracking in all the bags. Because the next time I think that any of us are flying, well, I'm going with my dad to Zion National Park in like 2 or 3 weeks, which I have so much to do, but I'm very excited about it. That was what my dad gifted me and my sister and my brother, was a trip in the US, long weekend kind of trip thing that we got to pick. So I picked to go to Zion because it looks so cool and so different. We're gonna hike, and we're flying through Vegas. I've never been to Vegas, so we're gonna check that out and go see a show. I am not a drinker, not a gambler, so I'm just there for the pretty lights and the entertainment and hopefully good food. But yeah, so next time I'm flying that's just me or for business will be in, let's see, August, I think, for San Francisco, in which I will have an air tag in my checked bag. Because I also have, like, you know, obviously our Pincho stuff with me. But yeah, so between all that, it just like knocked me out. It's funny because I haven't been sick like that, and like, knock on wood, like obviously I have my chronic stuff that has been diagnosed in the last year, which has been a struggle too, but like, you know, germ sick in a while, like years. So this was like so not fun. And I still don't feel fantastic, but I do feel like an eensy bit better today. And I love John very much. He was a medical professional. He was a paramedic, but he was a trauma paramedic, like your arm's blown off, you're missing a leg, you've been shot, and I will save you person, not a let me be nice and nurse you back to health kind of person. So he's not great about anybody being sick, because he's also the kind of person, which is totally unfair, who doesn't, like, pretty much never get sick. Apparently he never has. I've talked to his mom. He just doesn't get sick, which is completely unfair. So he like doesn't have personal experience and just can't handle it. So luckily our younger daughter, who's 10, is like the most empathetic little child ever, and she has been very sweet to me while I've been trying to get work done in between laying in bed. So I think John was turning Patreon pens, or at least started that, and I'm gonna show you some of this week's, the Twilight ones that I have been working on. Like I said, I'm a little bit behind. Tomorrow's going to be wild. I'm going to be sanding so much tomorrow. I normally, like on our normal schedule, Monday I'm packing packages. Tuesdays I am doing putty and usually other kind of like admin-y stuff behind the scenes, or maybe either working on things like customs or on fountain pens. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm sanding. And I do that so that like I don't overextend myself, because standing and the you know, like the use of my hands, it gets pretty exhausting. So there's like only so many I can do before I am like worn out. Oh, you got your dip pen? Oh, I'm so excited. I love that. I hope you're enjoying it. I love my dip pen for a lot of reasons, but also like if I want to switch up the color that I'm writing with more often, or if I'm trying out like a new ink, it's perfect for that, because to wash it, you literally just like run it underwater and then it's like clean. Whereas excuse me, if you have a fountain pen that's filled with ink or has a cartridge, it's kind of a pain to change the color, you know what I mean? Now, I'm also a person that, because John makes them, I have a pretty big collection, and I keep quite a few of them inked with different colors because I like to use them in my planners and notebooks and all that stuff. But yeah, I love my dip pen that I have. So anyways, These are the Twilight pens. I am going to see if I can figure out which one's John's lathe. There we go, that'll work. So these were inspired by the Alchemy colorway. There we go, that we did, that was super popular. But I wanted to obviously do it with purple because of course. So these have like a pink to blue color shift on the one end, and then it's the same with these glitters in here. Like they are so cool and color shifty. So they're like a pinky purple. They are turning out awesome. I'm really happy with them. Oh, you got a Hobonichi as well? That is what, okay, so let's see. Oops, sorry. So first off with that, this year was the first year of me getting a Hobonichi at all. Like I have tried so many times to be like a planner person over more than 10 years, and every single time, like every 2 or 3 years, I'll like buy a planner and be like, this is my year. I'm going to use a planner because I love the idea of all of like the stickers and washi tape and stationery and all the things. But because at the pen shows and with fountain pens, there's a big cross section with like stationery stuff and planner people. And so I was just introduced to Hobonichi last year, which is where I bought me and John the Weeks. So we started using those, and then I bought John the Cousin because he was like, I want something bigger. This one's like, because the Weeks are pretty small and there's like a tiny little space, you know, to use in them. And he got the Cousin and he was like, I'm not going to use this.
Did you go get yours?
Sure. That'd be great. John's going to go grab mine because I commandeered the Cousin. And I love it. I've been using it every single day. I'm using it as like partial to-do list planner and partial journal, which has worked well for me. You've used Erin Condren's other planners before too as a planner person for diamond painting. Erin Condren is the planner that I bought and tried to use many years ago. And it just didn't work for me. And journaling didn't either, weirdly, because I had like blank journals and I've tried that before. I don't know what about this combo with the Hobonichi that makes me so happy. And also I have been enjoying like using all of my pens and colors and stickers, and those aren't all, okay. He brought me
I didn't bring the little ones.
the smaller daily one. No, the Cousin's pretty big. So the little ones aren't even planners. They're
no,
notebooks. Okay, so this is my Weeks. You've been mostly journaling and doing lists. The paper is smooth, and yeah, so they're known for having fountain pen friendly paper. Some people had some issues this year, I guess, with some of them. So for example, my Weeks, I can use fountain pens in them, no issue. My Cousin, which is my big one, I got the bad paper one or whatever, so I have to be careful with what I use in it. But yeah, so this is the Weeks size. Look, I've got my shape chart right here for when I'm writing stuff down. But yeah, and it's set up like oh man, I'm gonna have to go over there. Let me change it again. Ugh. So let's see. Oh man, that makes it real weird. It's doing that thing with the stripes again, John.
Turn that light on.
This one? On? Nope, still stripey. I can't show you all. There's too much stuff in the way. Anyways, the Weeks is like this.
Pull the can back.
There's, oh, like just,
I don't know the trash can.
oh gosh. You move it for me.
Okay, sorry. You can come right. Move them camera reach.
Sorry, it's still stripey. Fine. Anyways, this is the Weeks. It's got the whole week on one side and then notes on the other side. And at the back, there's like a lot of notebooky pages. So I have not been using that one as much personally. I found that it's like too small of a space.
What are you doing?
What? What are you doing?
You moved it.
I
Hold
didn't
on.
move it.
Let me resolve this.
I I didn't move it. He moved it. I didn't even touch the camera. Just want you guys to know that.
Here you go.
I don't know. The cousin is an A5. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my cousin.
Let me fix this. It's upside down.
You're upside down.
Why you gotta cut me like that? So deep.
This particular camera likes to, oh good. Now we get to see both sides of me at the same time. My favorite. Okay.
Where do you want me to point it at?
No, just stop moving. Not there. Go back. Oh, Lord. Okay, so I have a really pretty, this was just like a normal journal cover that I bought in DC last year. And then, yeah, this is my cousin. So it's got like the monthly overview. Ooh, hold on.
Whoa, that looks crazy on camera.
So there's my monthly overview, and then it's got like, hold on, it's got the weeks. So month, weeks, and then they have a full daily page every day, like this. So that's why I've been doing like a to-do list and then journal with that. And then John brought me multiple other of my very, no, oh, yours works well. That's good. Yeah, apparently it only affected some of them. Oh, that one's still upside down. What do I have in here? Oh, I don't have anything in here yet. This is a cover that I bought for my weeks, and it is too small. It will not fit it. I tried stretching it. So now it just has a blank notebook in it because I don't know what I want to use it for yet. It's pretty though. Has my initials on it. These two covers were from Galen. There you go, Galen Leather. And then this one was from Lincoln Leather. I think Lincoln Leather Works, something like that. And then if you follow us on Maverick Pens, there's a local stationery shop here in Charlotte called Good Postage. And I went very specifically, well, one, John wanted to look at things because it's fun. We like looking at things like pens and other stuff, but this is a traveler's journal. So I got this specifically for pen shows because a lot of the times now makers have stamps, they always have stickers, and so my idea is to, like, for each pen show, you know, put what pen show it is and then put all of the stickers that I collect during the pen show in this traveler's notebook, because at the moment we have a binder that I have been like collecting all of those things in, and then they're just sitting there in a binder, you know what I mean? So I figure that I should use the stickers and actually get to like see them and enjoy them. Look, fix me over there. Whew. Anyways. Yeah, I am really happy with it. I think I'm a Hobonichi person now. Although I'm on the fence of whether I'll do weeks again, unless I think of a different way that I want to use it. Because I did start just using it for like for Butterfly Effect Fairs, really for like a business kind of planner, which I've used it some for that, of like keeping track of colorways, and for example, you know, for like the giveaways that we've been doing on Facebook, how I've been asking questions like, what's your favorite shape and size pen, and etc. I kind of keep note of that in here because it's super helpful when I'm marking all the pens for John for, you know, each week, of figuring out what's everybody's favorite shape and how many I should do and what colors people are wanting to see again. Okay, I'm coming to the end of me talking. I am worn out, but yeah. Thanks for bringing me my stack of.
Oh yeah.
So 2 of these are blank, and 2 of them I have been using, but 1 is brand new. I literally got it on Tuesday, so, you know, and it has a very specific use. But yeah, I found that if I like chose what each page or each section was going to be, which I followed some people on Instagram that, you know, use Hobonichi. I like joined a Hobonichi journaling or whatever group so that I could see the way some people use pages, because there's like a daily, like, oh sorry, a yearly, where you can see this is like each little stripe is a day of each month. So like this is all of January, this is all of February, and so for this I did like a temperature thing. I don't know if you've seen like the temperature, like, what's it called? Blankets, or the embroidery where people like do a row of whatever color the temperature was that they set at the beginning of the year. That was kind of my idea. I just thought it was cool. Yeah, thanks, Laura. I really hope that I get to sleep tonight. That's my biggest thing at the moment. You're gonna come say bye too, either two?
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for listening to me talk. But yeah. That it?
That's it.
All right. I don't know what John will be doing tomorrow, so.
It's been taking forever for me to actually get to the forever pencils.
Well,
So hopefully I won't have anything else to do.
those are pretty
And I'll just
cool.
work on those.
Yeah, the forever pencils are pretty cool. I brought 2 of them with us on the plane, and the girls and I used them. Didn't think of that. I saw some diamond painting typical project. You did? I didn't see any of those. What was showing up for me were like those blankets that people were crocheting. But anyways, bye, Laura. See you next time. Thank you to anybody else that's here and hung out with John and listened to me talk for a while now. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.